The icy wind howled through the dimly lit alley, rattling the loose shutters of old brick buildings. A frail woman, wrapped in a tattered coat, shivered as she dug through a trash bin, searching for anything edible. Her fingers, numb from the cold, trembled as she clutched a stale piece of bread. Just as she was about to take a bite, a weak whimper stopped her. She turned her head and saw a small, shivering dog curled up against a dumpster. Its ribs jutted out from its thin frame, and its fur was matted with dirt. The dog looked at her with pleading eyes, its tail barely wagging. A lump formed in her throat. "You're just as hungry as I am, huh?" she whispered, kneeling beside the animal. Without hesitation, she broke the bread in half and offered a piece to the dog. It hesitated for a moment before gobbling it up, its tail thumping weakly against the pavement. The woman, named Clara, sighed and picked up the frail creature. "Guess we're in this together now," she murmured, holding it close for warmth. Clara had been homeless for over a year. Life had taken everything from her, her job, her home, and eventually her hope. But looking at the tiny dog nestled in her arms, something stirred inside her, a small flicker of purpose. Days passed, and Clara and the dog, whom she named Lucky, became inseparable. She shared her meager scraps with him, and in return he stayed by her side, offering warmth and companionship during the coldest nights. Lucky, despite his frail body, had a spirit that refused to break, much like Clara's own. One evening, as they huddled together on a park bench, a voice startled Clara. "That's a beautiful dog you have there." Clara looked up to see an elderly man in a well-tailored coat, his kind eyes fixed on Lucky. "He's special," she replied, stroking Lucky's head. "Saved me as much as I saved him." The man smiled. "May I?" He extended his hand, and Lucky, usually wary of strangers, licked it without hesitation. The man chuckled. "That's remarkable. Lucky seems to trust me." Clara nodded. "He's a good judge of character." The man sat beside her. "I used to have a dog just like him when I was younger. He was my best friend." A gust of wind blew through, and Clara shivered. The man noticed. "How long have you been out here?" She hesitated, then shrugged. "Long enough." He was silent for a moment, then reached into his coat and pulled out a card. "Come to this address tomorrow. I may have something for you." Clara looked at the card. It had the name James Holloway and an address printed in elegant gold letters. She hesitated. "Why are you helping me?" He smiled. "Because someone once helped me when I had nothing. Maybe it's my turn now." The next morning, with Lucky in tow, Clara arrived at the grand building listed on the card. It was a veterinary clinic. Confused but curious, she stepped inside. A receptionist greeted her warmly. "Mr. Holloway is expecting you. Right this way." She was led into a spacious office where James Holloway stood by the window. He turned and smiled. "You came," Clara nodded. "I don't understand." He gestured to a framed photo on his desk. "This was my dog, Charlie. He saved my life when I was young. When I saw you with Lucky, I saw the same bond. I run this clinic, and I'd like to offer you a job." Clara gasped. "A job? But I don't have any experience." James chuckled. "Experience can be learned, but compassion, that's rare. And I can see you have plenty of it." Tears welled in her eyes. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he said warmly, "and let Lucky have a warm place to sleep from now on." Overwhelmed, Clara knelt and hugged Lucky, who wagged his tail with excitement. "We made it, buddy. We really made it." And for the first time in a long time, hope blossomed in Clara's heart. She had saved Lucky, but in the end, Lucky had saved her too.